Posture. Now, first of all, let's look at a couple of examples of incorrect posture, but the sort of examples we often see in the classroom. Common misuses of the body. The first, of course, is what we're going to call the slump. If you look at slide 1, we call this the slump because it's a very depressed position. For example, if the spine collapses, the body is caved in, and so the lungs cannot fill properly with air. Now, the slumped look indicates a lack of energy and a lack of self-esteem. And if you need to explain to a class, inform, inspire, keep control, all this is going to be so difficult from a slumped, depressed and physical stance. It's the sort of position that you would find particularly on a Tuesday afternoon or a Wednesday afternoon, middle of the week, perhaps tiring week and a difficult class. So from this depressed position, the voice will be depressed and monotonous, and as a result, the teaching performance will be hampered, strained and restricted. It looks depressed, it will sound depressed. From this position, we also put pressure and constrictions on the neck and the jaw area. You know, the kind of feeling we get when we're nodding off. Furthermore, from this position, any spinal misuse is going to throw the head off balance, and as a result, that will put far more pressure on the throat, where the muscles have to do more work, rather like working at a screen which is in the wrong position. And this will lead to tension and neck pain and, of course, headaches. And I'm sure it's quite easy to experience this position. So this slumped look indicates rather low self-esteem. It doesn't inspire confidence, and voice production will be hard work. And you can sit in this slump position where again the breath support is reduced and the voice will sound depressed. Now, by contrast, we have the uptight position, if you like, slide 2. This is rather like the Sergeant Major, and you may see sort of people who, maybe certain headmasters on patrol, playground duty. It's the result of a too stiffly placed spine, which produces the shoulder and neck tension that can freeze the voice. It's an inflated look, as we call it, the Sergeant Major on parade. The upper chest lift, this puffed up look, restricts the breath. Actually, the breath capacity is restricted by about 50%. So it's not actually conducive to good voice work. And as a result, the speaking range is very limited. Now, this position is more or less adopted as an artificial position of control. But of course it isn't, because the vocal apparatus won't work correctly. The speaking range from this position is very restricted, very limited. Knees are locked again, and this creates unnecessary tension. There's tension of the abdominal muscles, and this can produce a forced, throaty tone. Again, we know that any spinal misuse will throw the head off balance, and as a result it will put more pressure on the throat, where the muscles again have to do more work. And again, from this position it means more headaches. The small of the back is pulled in, so breathing has to be in the upper chest area, and the back from this position will lose a lot of its width at the point where the lungs are largest. So speaking long phrases is difficult. Control is easily lost, and the voice can become limited, shrill, and lacking in resonance. So again, this position, this uptight position, is not effective at all for good vocal delivery in the classroom, the lecture room, or any outside space. And if this position is adopted in the sitting position, again, it's too straight, too strained. Abdominal muscles are under strain and restricted, and this tension, this restriction, this absolute uptight note will be reflected in the voice. So the uptight has to be avoided just as much as the slumped position. Now, before we go on to look at balance posture, good posture, there are a couple of other very common errors that can be seen in the classroom when the teacher is using his or her voice under pressure. So, other common misuses of the body. First of all, throwing the head back when speaking. Now, you must have seen, maybe you've done it yourself, throw the head back when speaking rather than dropping the jaw when you take a breath to speak. Now, if you do this, this closes part of the throat. It closes the back of the mouth, so there's a lack of resonance and it can cause problems with articulation. So another thing to avoid is throwing the head back when speaking instead of dropping the jaw. Another common misuse of the body, especially in the classroom, is thrusting the head forward when speaking. So if you see teachers perhaps under pressure, thrusting the head forward. And this again takes the speaker off a natural alignment. It squashes the neck and the throat and disconnects the voice from the supporting breath. And this is done quite often under pressure with energy, with volume. And of course, if it's done with more energy, done with more volume, perhaps when very angry or almost shouting at someone, which we should never shout, to get attention, then there is greater strain on the voice. So again, avoid thrusting the head forward when speaking. And a third common misuse, again, frequently seen, is lifting the shoulders and chest as the speaking event grows nearer. So in all these examples, the head, the neck, the back relationship has been interfered with. Some parts of the body are not working and others are having to work too hard. So whenever this misuse starts, it never actually remains there, but soon affects the whole body and, of course, the voice, not only mechanically in functioning, but also in quality. So factors to be avoided too, just as the slumped and the uptight position should be avoided. So what is good posture then? What is good alignment? Well, if you look at slide 3, there's an example there of a balanced position, an example of good posture. The head is naturally poised on the neck. It's facing forward, but it's going up. The teeth are not clenched and the jaw is perfectly relaxed. The shoulders are not raised, they're perfectly relaxed. Now the spine is long and curved naturally. It's following the direction of the head, and this is lengthening the back, and the rib cage therefore is allowed to widen, and so the lungs are allowed to fill. So the spine long, naturally curved, widening back, so the rib cage will allow the lungs to fill easily. There's no unnecessary holding in of the muscles of the stomach and the buttocks. No forced tension there to restrict this area. If we do hold in the stomach and buttocks, then the back will suffer. All the joints, all the muscles are as relaxed and free as they were if they were in movement from this position. The arms are hanging freely. There's no tension in the wrists, no tension at all there. The knees are not locked, they're not tense, they're just relaxed. The weight is evenly balanced, the feet are slightly apart, so the weight's evenly distributed. And from this position, it's quite possible to move easily in any direction or to stand in a relaxed position and use the voice freely to inform, inspire, discipline, keep authority without growing tense or tightening. Now, this position can be adopted in sitting also, this balanced position, using the chair for support, the weight perfectly balanced, the breathing muscles are free, and the voice is easy and relaxed. And remember, this attention to posture, particularly adopting this balanced, aligned position, makes breathing far easier and deeper, and as a result, this reduces tension, stress, and blood pressure.